10-year Treasury yield has now broken up above 1.60. Okay. Now, for those of you who have been following me for a while, you know that I have been steadfast in my opinion that the Fed would resume its rate hikes. Now, there have been a lot of people out there, especially among some of the sociopaths, people like Schiff. Basically, it's kind of funny, hilarious actually, because here's a guy who was telling us for so many years how the rate cuts and quantitative easing was going to lead to a collapse in the dollar and hyperinflation, and that it was unsustainable. And then none of that happened, and now he's like, well, the Fed can never raise interest rates again, totally flip-flopped. And I called it right on the way down with rate cuts in QE, and I'm calling it again on the way up. And this has been a long-standing position and view ever since the Fed told us last year that it was going to raise rates. See, people, I say this all the time. This is not a difficult game. You make it difficult for yourself. The people who are at the controls, they tell you what they're going to do. They tell us what they're going to do. Nobody listens. I listen, but nobody listens. So they told us they're going to raise rates. Now, we had, most of this year now where they kind of, they hemmed and they were reluctant and they were looking at things that maybe didn't give them the right signal, and then there was the actions by other central banks. This is the same, you're dealing with the same, it is an institutional mentality here among central bankers when they saw, for example, Bank of Japan, Bank of England, Reserve Bank of New Zealand, all these other central banks cutting and expanding quantitative easing. It made the Fed feel uncomfortable, at least under its current leadership, to step out in the other direction. But ultimately, the data will dictate, and you could even tell from Yellen's comments today, which were still a little bit vague, but she's talking about, the conditions are coming together for the next rate hike. And then you had Stanley Fischer, and you had, what's his name, Dudley from the New York Fed last week, who said it could happen in September. Now you have the CME Group's Fed Watch tool. I talk about that in the MMT Trader Report, which is up to a 30% probability now of a rate hike in September. That's up all the way from 9%. 12%, I think it was last Friday, and it was even as low as 9%. So that has jumped up quite a bit. And what you are seeing today in this stock sell-off is the reaction. This is the zombie reaction to, oh my God, they might hike rates by 25 basis points sometime this year. It's going to be a disaster. So this is what's happening right now. But it's a fake out. I'm telling you, it's a fake out. So everybody has to stay nice and relaxed and calm, and it's going to be okay. So the thing I wanted to point out, however, is Treasury. I'm the only person who had this call. I've been steadfast on this call, and my rationale has been 100%, bulletproof. They told us they're going to do it. That's all you need to hear. It even doesn't depend on the data. I've said this before. Inflation could be 20%, and the growth in the economy could be 15% annually. If they want interest rates at zero, they could keep them at zero for as long as they want. It really has even nothing to do with the data. And vice versa. We could be in a recession. If they want to raise rates, they could raise rates. They're a monopolist. They do what they want. So they told us they're going to raise. They've always been kind of saying, we're going to raise, just not now. So it's going to go up. When it goes up, you got to sell treasuries. I have not sold treasuries in 9 years. But I'm short now. I am short the Treasury note futures. I've been short up above 132, so I'm making money on that because I make money on every single position that I put on. But I just wanted to point that out. All right, we're up above 160 in the 10-year yield. Bye.